And this is Courtney Cash's case. She is going to be a part of my What the Hell's Going On in Tennessee series. And as you guys can see in this first clip that I'm going to include in her first video of her story that I will do, corruption right off the bat. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Remember, it takes a village to raise a child. If you see something, say something. Become part of the army for the voices.
Courtney Cash's accused killer was back in court today. The 23-year-old great niece of country legend Johnny Cash was found murdered inside her home back in 2014. News Channel 5's Chris Conti has the latest from Putnam County tonight on what was a major setback for the defense.
Defense attorneys in this case have been arguing that prosecutors need to be thrown off. They are citing what they call a conflict of interest. Today, though, the judge wasn't buying it.
All right, we'll come to order at this time.
For 2 years, Courtney Cash's mom and dad have come in and out of this courtroom.
Mr. Dennis, you had furthered your motion.
2 years worth of waiting, clearly evident on their faces.
Mr. Dennis is entitled to have a witness available to testify.
In just over a week, the man who authorities say killed their daughter will go before a jury.
Not just the one story that was changed.
But today, Wayne Massarella was back before a judge with his attorney.
The conflict is outrageous. That's saying just go ahead and just trust the state that everything's going to work out wonderfully.
At issue, says Doug Dennis, are discrepancies in testimony given by Austin Johnson. He was Courtney Cash's boyfriend at the time she was found murdered and shoved inside a box at her Baxter home. Courtney's great uncle was Johnny Cash.
Evidence that was missing, evidence that was hidden away. Whether it was intentional or not, everybody seems to forget. It doesn't matter.
The state has given the court.
On Thursday, though, the judge ruled Putnam County prosecutors will be allowed to stay on the case.
That does not mean that the office needs to be removed in its entirety.
For 2 years, Courtney Cash's family has come in and out of this courtroom. 2 years that have taken their toll. So now a jury will decide. The case will go before them on August the 1st. In Putnam County, Chris Conti, News Channel 5.
Chris, thanks. We're told that Wayne Massarella was offered a plea deal over the weekend, but he decided not to take it.
Vicki, we were the only news station in a tearful courtroom as Judge David Patterson went over the plea deal for Wayne Massarella, which included charges being dropped in the indictment.
And you'll be pleading guilty to count 1 as a lesser offense of second-degree murder. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
Second-degree murder, the only charge Wayne Massarella pleaded guilty to in the killing of 23-year-old Courtney Cash.
This is a senseless, tragic death of a young lady.
Back in 2014, Cash was found murdered in her Baxter home.
No problem is too big that can't be resolved without somebody getting killed.
According to autopsy results, Cash died after bleeding out from her stab wounds. Cash's boyfriend, Austin Johnson, and Massarella, along with her 2-year-old daughter, were inside the home the night she was killed.
And your actions caused Courtney to pay the ultimate cost. You left a tiny little girl to suffer the consequences.
Though Massarella claims he acted alone, the family believes justice has not been served.
You and her father put her mother's body in that box.
Cash's body was found inside a box 24 hours after Massarella allegedly cleaned the crime scene.
After 24 hours, the defendant then stuffed Mrs. Cash's body in a pine box and covered it with a blanket.
And Johnson was not charged in the case.
This little girl has a life sentence, and Austin has nothing.
The court's going to accept your plea today as you are pleading to that, going to dismiss the other counts in the indictment.
The maximum sentence for second-degree murder is 60 years.
She was full of life.
And Massarella will serve the minimum of 15 years in prison.
I can't imagine why anyone would want to kill her. And I think you should have gotten a life sentence, because we have a life sentence. We don't have her anymore.
Putnam County Sheriff Eddie Ferris sent us a statement this afternoon. In it, he says, "I'm glad that we can put this behind us and move forward without delaying justice any further."